All right, let's talk about some of the electronics and appliances here. First of all, we have the refrigerator. The refrigerator can run off of shore power, so that's normal like AC power if you're plugged in, propane, or battery. It's going to drain the battery pretty quick, so normally unless you're driving and have the feedback that's coming into the battery, you wouldn't want to run it on a battery for a long time. But you can switch the mode by pushing the button twice. It's going to switch over. So normally if you don't have power, you definitely want to use propane. That's going to be the most efficient way to keep the fridge going. You can set the temperature by pushing the button here multiple times. So, the less cold that you want to keep it, the less propane that it will take in that case. So I'm going to just set it to a mid-level there. And actually, since we're plugged in, we'll push that again. So the fridge has multiple shelves here as well as a freezer area. So you can freeze things in here or put an ice tray in here. Normally there would be an ice tray I'll put in there so you can have ice. We also have a panel here, and this kind of controls various parts of your systems. So you have the water pump right here. So you would want to leave that on unless you're plugged into water from outside. If you plug the hose in to the city water, then it's going to automatically have that pressure, and you could turn this off. But otherwise, you want to keep that on. When I start to run the sink here, it's going to go off pressure, and then you'll hear the water pump kick in down there to create that pressure again. So we have a tank heater here. This is only important if you're getting down to cold, below 40. It heats the black and gray tank, so that way you won't have any trouble dumping. And then you have a water heater. So this is going to be for the hot water. So you could turn this on. If you're plugged into shore power, you would just pick electric here, and you could leave that on if you wanted to. But if you're not on shore power, then you would turn that off, and you would use gas, which would be the propane. Everything's running off these propane tanks in the front. So I'm going to turn that water heater on for gas, and it's going to heat it up. Probably takes about 20 minutes to heat up water if you're getting ready for a shower or something like that. So we are on shore power, so I'm going to go back to electric, but that's what these are for. This will also give you an indication of how much battery you have left. If the freshwater tank, that's the onboard water, is full, or where it's at, and then how full the black water tank is. Now these are not always super accurate, but it gives you an idea. And then if we come around here to the side, we have some plugs that you can use. We have the USB and DC plugs, and then we have the standard AC plugs in here. So if you are plugged into shore power or running off the generator, you can use these plugs. If you're not, these will go off the battery. So you can still charge your phone if you have a USB plug. It'll just charge off the deep cycle battery. You really normally won't want to mess with this, but if you do want to shut off all the power to the unit, maybe to keep anything from pulling from the battery, you would just turn this knob to the left. I'm not going to do that right now because it would turn off all our power. And then if for some reason power wasn't working, it could be that knob somehow got turned by like a kiddo, and you would want to turn that back. Right here, we have our circuit breaker. Occasionally, like if you ran both the heaters in higher modes, or maybe if you ran the microwave while you had a heater on, sometimes this can get flipped. All you need to do, you'll see one of these that are down, you just flip it back up and you should be back in action. And then we'll cover the stereo and the TV next.